club. We're your hosts. I'm Akila Friends.
And I'm Ebony Chapman.
And today, guys, we are saying manifest, but make it practical. All right. We are joined by skincare, beauty, entrepreneur, founder of the Shea Parlor, Cash. All right. Cash, welcome to the club.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you guys for taking your time out to have me share with you guys. I'm really excited.
Yes. And so obviously, like we said, you're the founder of the Shea Parlor, a skincare brand that's producing some amazing products with even more like amazing content. I just love the look and the feel of your brand. So that's amazing. And so in going along the like, kind of, I would say the through line of the look and the feel, we're going to be talking about manifesting and really just, living and exhibiting that positive lifestyle that you want to have happen in all areas of your life, right? All right. So how about we turn it over to you? Just tell us a little bit about yourself and why do you think manifesting is so important?
Loaded question, but I'm gonna break it down. So I guess I'll start with the Shea Parlor itself, which established 2 years ago when I was making my own skincare products. But I did that because I didn't know what I was feeding my skin, which is really important because anything you put on top of your skin, your body absorbs and it becomes a part of you. And a lot of the skincare products I was using at the time, I couldn't recognize any of the ingredients. And I'm like, if I can't pronounce it, why am I going to put it in my body? Food is different. I'll still bust down on a guacamole bacon cheeseburger, but I'm to baby steps. So I'm starting with skin. So I created my own skincare products back in 2020, and it alleviated my eczema, my hyperpigmentation, my itchiness sometimes. So it was really great for that, and just gave my overall skin just a natural glow that melanin popping that everybody talking about. That's what I got, and I felt so accomplished, and I shared it with family and friends, and they loved it. And I kind of just kept it to myself. I'm like, okay, as long as my peeps are happy, I feel like I did something great, but I could do even something bigger by sharing it with a larger audience, sharing it with people who look like me, who's also looking for a skincare product that is has at least amount of ingredients, but is still powerful in its purpose, and has like a fun theme to it too. So that's where that part came from. And the, I guess, marketing digital part is when I used to throw a lot of parties back in college, and I gave the invitations that I make were not boring, and they were not like basic. It was very much, I have to be at this party because of the fun colors and text, all that stuff. So I kind of put those two and two together, a product with the passion for marketing. And then the Shea Parlor was born after that. But I guess where the manifesting part came in, I didn't even realize I was manifesting at the time when I created it, but I knew that I wanted to do something bigger than I had been. And I was thinking about this on the way home today. And I think it's because, and I really don't share this with people because I kind of just like realized this in therapy this year. I feel like I've always been kind of like a jack of all trades, which is like a cool thing because like I feel like anything I try in confidence because I know I'm going to do okay at it, not excel, but just be good at it. And I've done that like in school. I've done that as an athlete. And because of that, I kind of really never pushed myself to do something bigger than average because that's all I was used to. But I'm like, if I can actually like change how I think about the approach to something new, and say to myself, like, I'm not just going to be okay. I'm going to be great at this. Like, let me see how far I can get with it. So I'm like, let me take something that I built from the ground, the Shea Parlor, which was an idea in my head, and now it's a product in my hand and eventually cash in my pocket. Like, let me see, like, if I push myself to believe that I can manifest an amazing company, let me see how far I can get. And yes, I'm still on the journey. In my mind, I'm just now starting, but I've seen like how far my mind has taken me. Like if I came into this thinking I'm just going to be average, just like I was in school, or average, just like when I was running track in high school, I think my business would be just that. But now I'm thinking like bigger, I'm thinking bolder, and I'm thinking like far into the future. So I think that manifesting that is such a huge part because I'm only as successful as I think I can be. So yeah.
I mean, you said a lot. And so I kind of want to like break it on. No, but it was great.
Great.
It was okay. Great. No, it was great. Like, I mean, it gives us like such a good like starting point with like the interview. Like you definitely are starting it off strong. And so
cool.
I want to go back to the beginning of what you were saying, which was like your products, right? And you were saying that you were finding a really difficult time finding things. I mean, not every lotion is made the same. Okay. They're not all made equal. You try to put something on, especially like with a skin tone that is deeper, has, you know, and you rub it in and now you're white, you rub it in, you're gray. Like, it's just like, what is happening? Like, I've had sunscreen and I'm like, it's sunscreen and it's spray sunscreen. It should literally just fly on. And why am I now looking like 3 skin tones lighter? And it's just looking crazy.
A whole ghost. Yes.
Yeah. And it happens all the time to us Black people, you know, because no one's really thinking about that. So when you were starting your product line, what are the ingredients? I think you said there's like 3 to 5 ingredients per like in each thing. So it's really pure. And so what were kind of those things where you're like, this are these top ingredients that I have to have, and these are helping me figure out my skin, all the issues?
Yes. Good question. Going back to the basics. So I really didn't know where I wanted to start. I had heard about shea butter, like in general, like I know it's good for your skin. It makes, you know, I knew it was good, but I didn't know how good it was. Like when I was doing my research, this is really like, I consider it, and a lot of other people consider it, the magic ingredient that is from Africa, from a shea tree, derived from a shea nut, has vitamin A, E, and K in it to just kind of like make your skin bounce back and make it like rejuvenate, like just reveal like the greatest part of your skin and like reaching the highest potential of what your skin can be is shea butter. And like, I was like, dang, I have to like feed my skin with this, you know? So that was like the basis of it. And then I was just, and there's a lot of oils that are really good for your skin, but I wanted to get the best of the best. So that's when I researched olive oil, which I was like, I'm not going to put that in a like a skincare product, but anything, this is a quote from Cardi B, anything that is you think is good enough to eat, you can put on your skin. So I incorporated olive oil, avocado oil, which is really good for the fat of, that has really good fats, and oh my God, jojoba oil, also sometimes called golden jojoba oil, that I also use. So incorporating those 3 is just kind of like a quadruple whammy, I guess, for your skin. And then of course, incorporating the fun and skin friendly scents, putting all those together is taken like my line very far. Because when you think about ice cream, there are literally a billion different flavors. So like I haven't even really scratched the surface. I got the big 5, but like I'm ready to like, you know, venture out. So it just seems like the possibilities are endless, with also keeping the integrity of the naturalness, which is the shea butter.
You mentioned scents, and I think that's interesting because I know people are kind of sometimes can be very sensitive to like smells or just like fragrance in things, the way it reacts to people's skin. So how have you been able to kind of like balance the two, essentially, to where like it's smelling like ice cream cone I'm trying to eat, but at the same time it
helps with eczema and hyperpigmentation and all these
to be honest, that was in the creation of the ingredients, that was actually kind of a hard thing to do, because I found so many scents that I wanted to go crazy with, but a lot of them had a lot of chemicals in it, like the things that you see in Bath and Body Works, like they smell great, but the good ones might not be the best ones for your skin. So I had to do a lot of research to find, there's an ingredient that I still can't even really pronounce that well, but it starts with a P, but that's the ingredient that is in a lot of these like bad scents. So I had to find a specific wholesaler that had scents that didn't have that ingredient in it. So took a lot of research, and that's kind of what's hindering me now from venturing out, because it's hard to find, you know, very specific, like nobody's going to make an organic vegan, I don't know, happy birthday cake scent. So it took a lot of research, but when I found it, I stuck with it, and I'm like, okay, this is giving like still the naturalness, but still giving like not hindering those vitamins from getting into your skin.
It's good you're staying true to like the ethos and the brand and what you're trying to do, because it could be easy to put that P letter chemical in a lot of things, you know, then you're taking away from like what you set out to do. I also feel like a lot of the scents that you named super great for 4C hair as well. Like, so the jojoba oil, all the stuff they were talking about in terms of growth for that hair, like, so it's incredible that that's the same sort of ingredients that helps with your overall skin. It makes sense. Melanin skin.
It does. It does. And the other day I had just suggested to someone to use the unscented one in your hair, because it's still like perfect for your hair. And I'm like, dang, should I come out with like a hair care line, or for, you know, it's just,
you might have just found it. I
might as well. Let me book bookmark that, because and that's the great thing about this is like, I'm not hindered to my creativity is not hindered because it's me doing, I can literally do whatever I want with it. Yes, it's a lot of responsibility, but I don't have anybody telling me like, you shouldn't do this because blah, blah, like I can go as crazy as I want to. So, but for now, I got to stick with what I got because it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of legwork, but I also love in terms of what you're saying, even now, what you're saying before, in terms of just like, you know, just having that mindset to just say like, no, this is not going to be average. And I think that's not easier said than done, but a lot of people don't even say that that's kind of what they're thinking. Because a lot of folks are might say, oh yeah, you know, I'll start my own business, I'll do my own thing, I'll do my own whatever. But when you start it, are you really thinking like this business is going to be on the Forbes list? This business is going to do this and that? Like oftentimes I feel like folks are probably just a little more so, you know, I'll be good if I'm able to officially just quit my 9 to 5, or I'll be good if I'm able to, you know, probably get a couple extra dollars a month. So it's interesting that it's true that perspective and that vision and that, you know, manifestation has to happen from day one. And so you mentioned it came through via therapy. Like, what was that journey like to even incorporate that? Because all the time when folks talk about therapy, it's like their personal therapy and how to fix themselves, but you approached that and you took that to your business, which I think that's very interesting to just talk a little bit more about.
Yeah, therapy is just so powerful. And I don't mind talking about it. I'm not ashamed that I go. I think everybody should go for sure. But I think going there kind of like unlocked like the stamp that I earned on this earth. Like, I think I kind of suppressed myself a lot. And I think that that's kind of why I've been averaged out a lot, because I think that I was just that good. I was only supposed to stop right here, but going there kind of like unlocked like my potential. Like, dang, I really can be the girl that I dream of in my head, or like, dang, I wish I could do this to do that. I'm like, wait, I can actually do that. Like, God gave me the tools that I need to do it. So like, why not? Because the worst thing in the world is for me to, you know, be 85 years old and be like, dang, I wonder what would have happened if I did this. Like, I cannot live like that. And that's just me personally. And also when it comes to manifesting, I think you have to kind of think that you can't just think about like tomorrow or think about next week. Like, when people ask me, like, I don't know what to do first, I'm like, don't worry about the business plan. Don't worry about that right now. When you close your eyes and you think about like the dream person, like, don't think about how hard it's going to be. If it's attainable, I don't care. What person do you want to be? Like, what kind of person do you want to think like? What kind of people do you want to attract to you? Like, think of that person. I'm like, okay, cool. Step one. Now, what is it going to take to get to those steps? And when you really break it down, not even like in the grand scheme of things, when you really break it down, like, oh, tomorrow I just got to look up what a business plan is. Tomorrow it's got to look up other people that's doing it. So it's like baby steps. And then when you keep making those baby steps, you'll like realize like, dang, now I got a whole business on my back because I looked forward and I just had to research those tiny little steps and building those bricks every day. Sorry, I don't know if that answered your original question. I've been going on a tangent.
Listen, we all have manifestation tangent. Right? We love where it's taking us, and that did. I feel like that's it's incredible. So I wonder if that was the moment, was that therapy session, or was that, I don't know if you have a separate moment when you finally realized that manifestation and just the general law of attraction is the key to you living your best life. Like, what happened?
It wasn't really in therapy. It was actually like something that happened. And okay, so I know journaling is a really good part of manifesting. To be honest with you, I do not like journaling, but I do it because it makes me feel better after the fact. And I remember about 2 months ago, I was journaling, manifesting, whatever. And I wrote down like, because when I do it, I like thank the universe and I thank God ahead of time as if I've already received it. So I said like, thank you, God, for my publication in this magazine. I didn't know what magazine I was talking about. I was just writing like whatever. And then a week later, I get an email from this company who like wanted to interview me because they're highlighting Black businesses. And I wasn't even thinking about the journal. I did the interview and I was like, oh man, that was dope. And I looked back at my journal. I was like, dang, I really wrote this down like a week ago. And like, and I'm thinking like, if I can do that with just an interview, just like a 30-minute interview, imagine what I could do about what I'm trying to have my bank account looking like, what I want my man to look, my future man to look like, you know? So like, it's just such a powerful thing. My example is just small, but like, look at all, like, if you look up all the successful people in the world interview, I promise you, they're always talking about manifesting and like that stuff doesn't just fall out the sky. Like, yes, you can be born into money, but the people who grew up from the trenches or people who had to like keep grinding, they're always talking about envisioning the person that they wanted to be and then working towards it.
Yeah, I think that oh, what were you saying, Akilah? Sorry.
No, I'm saying starting with the end goal. Like that's the key.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely totally agree with that, right? Like, I think we all have our own like personal story of like law of attraction and how that helps build something else. So like my little tidbit is kind of like, I was working in retail. Like I graduated college, worked in retail for like 2.5 years. And I don't know, like I was like over time, like over a window of a month, maybe, right? It started to really just like build up for me. I felt like frustrated, irritated, annoyed, emotional, like all of these things at one time. And I was like, I did not spend all this money in college to like be working in retail, right? And I'm like, something has to give. And so at that point, I was like, okay, I'm like going to Bible study. I'm like talking to God on my own and being like, yo, I surrender. Like, I need your help. You need to do something. Like, whatever it is, like, help me out because I literally cannot do this on my own.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and I said I wanted a career job. That was like the next natural step for me that I wanted. I said, I want a career job. Next step. That's what it is. So within maybe like, I would say 2 months of that moment, I ended up working at the Oprah Winfrey Network. And it was like,
come on now.
How did I get here? Like, it was so, I won't say random, but it was because of a temp agency. So I executive temp, shout out to them. I always want to give them props for that.
No, for sure.
But at the same time, I didn't have any like corporate experience or have any like marketing experience. And my position was in corporate marketing. And I was like, like I didn't know what to do, but it was like, it landed in because I said it, wanted it, thought on it, prayed on it, it worked. And so I 100% agree that like the law of attraction and how you feel and what you put out there, the energy you put is what you really do get back because people can feel it. Like, you know, when you ever like go into a room or like you're with someone and you're like, I don't know what it is about this person, but like their energy is like, I need it. I need their energy. Like I say that about Akilah all the time, right? When we met, it was like, yo, I don't know her and I don't know what's happening. We happened to be on the same schedule when we worked in, we met at a hosting, a hosting program. And I was like, I don't know what it is about her, but I need her to be my friend. The energy's great. She's fun.
I love that.
And look, boom, we have a business together 2 years later.
Yes, that is so bomb. Sometimes like in addition to manifesting, because I'm also like spiritual too, and I have a good relationship with God. In addition to manifesting, sometimes God's like, yo, can you just let me do my thing? Like you're doing a lot and you need to sit down, you know? Cause like when you try to like just force stuff, God's like, I'm trying to bless you, but you really doing a lot, you know? So when you kind of step back and like you said, you do like surrender, like, yes, you got to put in the work, but he'll literally meet you halfway if you like do it with him, you know? Like I'm on a journey with him. So it's just amazing to finally see like what you think in your head actually play out in your actual life.
That's true. That's me. I think that's where I'm at. Because I'm literally that person who takes that quote, faith without works is dead, like to heart. I'm like, yo, bro, dead without works. So I'm going to put in, I'm going to do this, this. And it's like, no, like you have to just like, let somebody else handle it or not let somebody else, let God handle it. Or, that has to do. So, I mean, I completely agree and love what you guys are saying. Like, it's funny how you said also that you don't really like journaling. Because I think a lot of folks oftentimes when you talk about self-love and you talk about care and manifesting, the first two things that come out, a candle and a journal, right?
Yeah.
I
got both.
Right. And trust me, I love my candles. I love my journals as well.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what other steps would you say to someone to do if they're looking to increase their own law of attraction? Probably some of the things that you do, if it's a daily basis, weekly basis. I have some things too, but let's have you jump into it first. Like, what are some of the things that you would say to do?
So I really wasn't practicing this like faithfully until I moved out of my parents' house, because when I was at my parents' house, my mind was like kind of clogged. I felt kind of smothered. I was like showing my mom how to do stuff on her phone every day. It was a lot, you know? So like when I finally moved into the space I am now, which I'm so grateful for, I'm actually be like, okay, now that I don't have the distractions, like let me practice something healthy. So I started meditating every day, which is a practice in itself. I'm still struggling with it, but I've already reaped the benefits. I already know, like, I think about things more clearly. I come to solutions faster, and I'm able to like break down problems I have like with more strategy now. So that really helps a lot. I'm able to sit with my feelings and I actually be like, okay, what makes me happy? What doesn't? What kind of people do I want to be around with? Like, having that mental clarity came with meditation. That really, really helped. And spending time, like my nighttime routine is very precious to me. Like it takes an hour and a half, whatever. It's a long time, but I don't care, because like that's what helps me like get in touch with myself. And recently also in therapy, I was like, dang, I really sometimes beat myself up for taking that hour and a half to do that, instead of like, could I be making extra money working that extra hour and a half? But then she was like, do you think you could perform your best without your skincare, without your nighttime routine, or getting that 7 hours of sleep? I'm like, nah, because I don't want to be half-assed. Sorry if I'm cussing, but I don't want to be like, I don't want to like present a half-assed cash to the Shea Parlor. Like, my business doesn't deserve that. You know, my business deserves like a full me, because this really is my baby. And like, I wouldn't want my mom to be a half-assed mom. You know, I want her to bring everything she has to the table. So I do that. Let me backtrack. I do work out. I've kind of been slacking because it happens, but I do work out at 6 a.m. before work. So that's actually been helping a lot physically, obviously, but mental too, because I do want to quit sometimes. And my trainer / roommate, he'd be like, I don't care. And you know, you push through it. You push through it. Shout out to him for that. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm trying to watch what I eat, because just like whatever you feed in your body is like, it's coming out in 10 times like more powerful. So I'm trying to do that. And I'm also trying to like watch the words that I say, even like in songs sometimes, like the what passes through your tongue is so powerful, like, and the opinions that you have about people and like how you talk about other people, even behind their back, is just like, it's just reflects back on you. And be very intentional about what you see too, like on what your Netflix has like really good stuff, but there's a lot of like trash that you could be filling your head with, and podcasts that you listen to, you got to be mindful about what you're feeding your ears with. So everything that you receive, even watching the news, I literally do not watch the news because of that. Like it's too much for me, and the thing that I want to produce, I can't do that if I'm like, if like negative news is feeding me. So just consistently practicing those things is like molding me into the woman I'm trying to be. And like, I'm still a human, I still mess up. So that could be a whole different conversation, which can get difficult, especially on the manifesting journey. But when I keep those like atomic habits, I guess, in place, is what really like helps me to like stay afloat. And just, it really doesn't seem that hard when I'm like actually taking care of myself.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference. I remember one week, like, when was it? Oh, it was actually right before another career story, in terms of like someone randomly coming into my LinkedIn, which I'm going to shout out LinkedIn again, because literally like some of the major jobs is through LinkedIn. But right before then, there was a week where I was just like feeling horrible. I didn't like the stage that I was in life. I felt like, you know, for me, I would definitely own up to the fact that I am an overachiever. And so like, if I'm not at that stage, I'm like, no, I need to step it up. and so like, there was a week where I literally cataloged everything I was doing, everything I was thinking, who I was talking to, what I was eating, literally just what is going on in my life, right? Day to day, get it over a week. And then just after you see those patterns and like kind of who was feeding you negative energy, what were you watching that you probably need to switch out? And it doesn't have to always be a cut thing, but like, what are some of those moments where you know you were feeling so amazing? Like, probably let's tap back into that more. Let's feed that more. Like, let's do that routine a little bit more. And those little things, at least for me, really just taking ownership of the fact that you are the driver in your life, right? Your life is yours. And so if you're thinking through some of the things, at least for me, when I was thinking through, okay, when I eat this and that food, there's no wonder why I'm so sluggish for the rest of that day. When I'm not working out versus I am, why do I feel like a better bitch? I'm doing this versus not. Yes. Like, when I'm talking to this person versus that person, this person is like gossip, negative central. This person is not so much. Let me make a little more time for that. And so like doing those kind of things helps a ton when it comes to just like changing your life, and you know, like that YouTube trend of like becoming that girl, right? And so I think that's what you're talking a lot about, and I think it's so important to really hone in on that the practices and the things that you're doing. You don't have to do everything that Cash is doing, but like a lot of what you're doing is like, no, people have said time and time again, this works, right? And this is how people to get to where they want to be. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that you made about you tracking the habits that you are doing, because I'm very forward thinking and manifesting, blah, blah, but you brought up a good point. Like you need to like kind of sit with yourself and do like a self-assessment about like, okay, well, right now, what am I doing? Because like, what do I need to fix specifically? So if you look back on that week, you're like, dang, I had pizza 3 days in a row. Like I didn't even realize that. So that's a really good, like kind of like telling on yourself so you'll know like how to move. So that's really good practice.
Yeah. And then like a question about just like your creative energy. So from what it sounds like there is, these are for the people who's struggling like me. I struggle on just being consistent on like daily practices on things, work, that's obvious. And podcasting, that's like, okay, every week, whatever, every Sunday we're recording, like that's the new practice. But having that like self-care moment to be like, oh, I need to read, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to research, I need to learn other things and whatever. But it sounds like if you're saying that you're cutting or limiting your news intake or like the things you're watching or the music that you're listening to, it can feel like, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, like a separation of like pop culture and like reality, right? So it's like, how are you able to kind of keep a balance with what you're learning, what you're viewing, how you're seeing things, and then come up with like, your creative energy and vibe? Because I feel like, pop culture does have a great influence, but at the same time, it can be negative. So it's like, how are you keeping that balance?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's kind of like the benefit of being on social media, because that's where like my main platform is on Instagram, and you can't get away completely from the news. Like, it's not like if I see CNN, I'm like this. Like, it's not like that. Like, it's gonna come in context. So I know the major headlines. I know like generally what's going on, but like when I see like multiple like bombings, all that stuff, I kind of stay away from it. And I also have like really good conversations with my friends. Like I see them often, and we talk about like what's going on in the world. How do we feel about this? And still steering the conversation positively, but we're still being aware of like what's going on, especially like with my business. I can't stay like locked in this office. Like I have to see what's going on. I have to see what the competition's doing and like trends and all that stuff. So I'm not like completely unplugged, but like the moderation that I take it in is something that I like to control, and just like having those conversations with those people. And even if I do see negative things, I see how I can kind of fuel that into creativity. Like, how can I don't know, connect this with like something that's going on in the world, to have some type of like connection to my followers or my customers, because I know they're not unplugging, but I want to make them, realize that like I'm not like some robot. Like I actually still am a human being at the same time.
That's true. You got to make some kind of you got to make it link, right? How do you stay relevant while still staying positive? That's
exactly insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
One thing you asked yourself that I thought was really cool when we were chatting beforehand, you sometimes question yourself, like, would older Cash be proud of this, right? And so like, why is this something that you ask when it comes to habits and decisions? Just like talk a little bit more about how this question is the question for you to ask yourself.
Yeah, so like, okay, I don't even know if I sound like a weirdo saying this to people, because it makes sense in my head, but I have this analogy, or not analogy, but a thing that I do when I'm like at a crossroads or have a fork in the road and I don't know what decision I want to make, not even just with the business, just kind of like if I want to go out with these people, if I want to text this guy back, like anything, I need to make older Cash proud. Like 10 years from now, if like 38-year-old Cash was looking down on 28-year-old Cash, which is me now, like, would she be proud of the decisions that I'm making right now? Like, is she looking like, girl, don't text that nigga back? Like, what are you doing? Stuff like that. Or like, don't eat that food. Like, I'm like, you know what? You probably right. I probably shouldn't. Not out loud, but like in my head, I'm like, yeah, let me just like kind of like keep her safe, like the person that I want 10-year-old in the future to be. It depends on the decisions that I'm making now. Like, that's just the reality of it. So in order to like make sure that she's good, I like keep the stuff that I do now in check. So it's helped a lot. It's stopped me from pressing send on a lot of texts. I'll tell you that much. And even help me with not making certain business deals or doing a certain sale or partnering up with somebody or being somebody's friend. It's just helped me so much. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, like God has the final word. And like, if I have plans, he's going to be like, okay, cool, but watch this. But still in like the direction of my actions and then the power of like my decisions, I like to keep like the older version of me in mind.
Yes, that's great. I feel like, that's the exercise right there, right? Because earlier you were saying, manifest and think through like, who do you want to be and when you close your eyes, what do you envision? Like, clearly name that person after that, right? Name that person older. For me, that's going to be older Keeks, older Keela. Like, what is, all right, this is the person that you want to be. Is that person side-eyeing you right now? Or is that person saying, you know what? Yeah, of course you can come to brunch with me because you are like, you're my vibe. So that's a great way to put that.
That's a great checks and balances. I agree. I'm definitely taking note on that one and doing that for sure.
Man. And I just think about it in the car when I'm in the shower, when I'm, just chilling, like I'm about to make this decision. Like if it's kind of like me, like my girls obviously help me. Like I be going to them for advice all the time, but like nobody knows me better than I do. So when I envision that, future self, I definitely have to keep her in mind.
Yes. That's the way to do it. Cause I mean, yeah, we should have talked a couple weeks ago because a couple of texts.
Hey, look, from this point on,
sis.
She's like, after this is over, I'm gonna call you.
That was okay. We don't know her, girl.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, now tomorrow if he texts you, just leave it on red. It's fine.
That's it. We talked about your skincare brand too, the Shea Parlor. So why was it skincare? Yes, you said, it helped you when it comes to some of the things that you had, eczema, you said hyperpigmentation, and just overall, like it's great to have a skincare business, but what was it about skincare specifically that said, you know what, the Shea Parlor, that's how I'm going to make my mark?
Well, I mean, I've always been into like self-care stuff, and like especially as a Black woman, and like I love Black women. Like I just love like when their skin is just glowing and popping. It's just we're like set so far apart than like other people, and I just wanted to highlight that. Like a lot of people, like when you see a Black woman, you're like, dang her. Like when you think about Lupita, you're like, look how like glowing her skin is. Like I wanted to be kind of like a vehicle for that. I wanted to be kind of like a source for that. Like you could come to the Shea Parlor to feel like that and to smell like that, so it's just kind of like a physical representation of like the love that I have for Black women. Not that everybody can't use it, they definitely can, but when I think about my target audience, like I just want to provide something that they're able to like, because of this product, now I feel like this. So I just wanted to kind of put my stamp on the skincare industry, and I think this is a great, fun, natural way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and you have, for everyone to let everyone know that like this is not full time. Like you are still balancing a full-time job and then doing this part-time. Like I think a lot of entrepreneurs are doing in 2022. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even get the year out. It was so many numbers, so old. My God. It is. But how are you keeping balance? I think for us, I can speak on our experience. Like it's really tough. Like it's really difficult to switch into like work mode and then entrepreneur mode. Like sometimes I find myself doing two things at once. I'm like trying to send work emails, but then also trying to like send Black Creators Club emails. And now I'm kind of like, I'm trying a new thing where I'm like, I'm work is work. And then after work, I'll like try to do BCC and see how that balances out a little bit better. If I can be more focused, like what kind of is the thing that helps you get through those tough days or get through week to week?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. What you just said about you trying to do both at one place was literally me like 2 days ago. Like I just had the epiphany that I need to stop doing that because the work that pays my rent is going to be affected if I kind of like focus on two at the same time. And it's hard for me to let go because I'm like, dang, if I'm not working on the Shea Parlor when I have this time, I could be missing out on money. I could be missing out on this, but it's like, I don't know, you kind of just have to like block out your creativity for a certain amount of time, and meshing those two together is just too much for me personally. But I also have to keep in mind, I'm not about to be at this 9 to 5 forever. Not that I don't like it, because it's definitely in marketing and I love being there, and it helps the Shea Parlor actually, but I don't want to beat myself up for working on 2 at the same time, because it like could affect my 9 to 5 negatively. And the Shea Parlor deserves my undivided attention too. So I am a marketing director, and I do a lot of graphic design, a lot of stuff for a construction company. But and I keep that, you know, in that block. But then when I get home, I put my stuff down and it's grind time. Like I'm in my office, door closed, don't bother me unless there's a fire. And I'm like just in there typing real fast and labeling stuff, making body butter. So, and I do that for about 4 or 5 hours, and then I stop, and then I do my nighttime routine. So yeah, but it's not like impossible. Like I genuinely enjoy doing this. Like I'm blasting 21 Savage the whole time. Like I'm having fun with it. You know, I'm not just like sweating and crying in my office. It's like actually fun for me. So I do that. And then I cut out deliberate time to hang with friends, to hang with family, to just sit by myself. So it's just literally about balance.
Carving out the time, right? I was with my friend yesterday, and they were making fun of me because they were like, you be like, all right, well, in 3 weeks, I'm available on this Saturday. And I'm like, literally, that's the time I have. Take it or leave it.
Yes. I was trying to go out to brunch with my friend too. She's like, what, you got to check your Palm Pilot? And I was like, yeah, actually I do, because I don't know if I can fit you in on Saturday, because I'm trying to do a podcast, you know, like but the thing is, it's because I'm checking my calendar, because I want to carve out time for you. And that like kind of segues into like, on this journey, there's going to be a lot of people who just do not get it. And it's no knock to them. It's just that we're on like different paths. And like, I'm kind of on your path, which is the 9 to 5, and I'm on my path, which is entrepreneur. So like, you got to have some type of mindset and not be sensitive to like people not getting it, because there's even going to be people close to you who do not get it and kind of even trying to make you feel bad for not going out. I've missed a lot of vacations. I missed a lot of parties. And I'm just like, look, I'm trying to build an empire right now. I'm trying to be on the islands of Waikiki, not worried about my bank account. You know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes you got to make those small sacrifices. Like, I want to be on the PJ with you too, but like, I got to do my work right now. And it's hard because there's a lot of things I want to attend, like a lot of stuff I want to do, but it's like, you want to live that like short-lived entertainment, or do you want to like build this company? Like this is just what it takes. Like that's the reality of it. So when I think about that, I don't feel bad about saying no, and I don't feel bad about I can't right now, but I got you after I check my calendar, you know? So it's not that I've neglected you, but the good part about it is like I've surrounded myself with like amazing friends who like support me so much, and they get why I can't go out, and they're always there for me when I need them, and they show up for me when I'm like carved out time for them. So it like, again, it really, really is about balance, but you just got to understand that like, there's going to be stuff that you miss because you're doing it for a purpose, not like you're sitting on your ass, like you're doing it because you're trying to build something. So I'm working on that too. I'm not trying to beat myself up for it. So we're only can do as much as we can. We're only human.
Energy. I love it. I love what you're saying. I love what it is. Because that's my mindset. I'm more so like, no, you can have it all. Like anyone in this life, you can have it all. You just cannot have it all at the same time. Like that's my mindset. That's how I feel. Sure. If the folks think you can have it all at the same time, cool. Tell me, teach me, where's the webinar? But for me, I'm like, you can have it all, just not at the same time. So there is going to be moments. Listen, you can consider me a hermit right now. Fine. When I know in my mind, no, I'm outside. Like that's how I like to feel. But right now, cool. Right now, look at me to think that I don't like to do these things. It's okay. Right?
Yes. Right now it's sweats and hoodies, but I'm cool with that. I'm wearing sweats right now. I'm cool with that.
That's it. I'm cool with that. You can say that needs 5 weeks, whatever weeks to schedule. It's like, no, I'm actually pretty spontaneous, but right now, no, we're gonna have to plan this out because that is what it is.
It's wild seeing like the reverse of that, because in college, man, I'll be the first person throwing a party. I'll be going this and that. But then I'm like, okay, if I want to like have a party guilt-free, you know, like let me put in the work right now. So it just takes a lot of training to teach yourself that like the goodies are gonna come, but you gotta put the work in. So
that's it. And don't be afraid of, I guess, the hard work. My trainer actually told me that this week. And I was like, girl, you are so right. She was like, don't be afraid to work hard. And she was talking about that in relation to the gym. But I was like, you know what? I have to apply that to other things in my life too. Because I'm like, it's true. With the gym, I'm like, oh, girl, like we really got to do this right now. This is the moment.
Sure do.
You don't start that way. The rest of your life is gonna have that same approach at some point. I mean, that's very valid. You kind of touched on a lot of things we wanted to talk about. So let's just deep dive, right? You mentioned like certain sacrifices that you might have to make this a growing success? You talked about people. Like, what other major sacrifices do you feel like you have had to make already that you see on the horizon to make the Shea Parlor like that business that you see it at?
For a business point of view, I would say financially, because this money, it takes, you have to not be afraid to invest into yourself. I spent a lot of money getting this off the ground, but like every penny like wasn't in vain. Like every dollar had a purpose and it had it had a reason. So I kind of just had to take that a couple $1,000s that I had to do to get off the ground and be like, okay, I'm turning this into something bigger. So that was definitely a huge sacrifice that I had to make. Like, how much can I afford to put this in my business? Like, yeah, you can get funding, but like that kind of comes like after you've proven yourself that you are not afraid to take what you've earned and put it into something that might not make you a return right away. So that was like one sacrifice, and obviously time. That's really like all I can think of so far. Like at the same time, like I'm not gonna sacrifice like, I guess, like my dignity just to do this. Like I'm not gonna sacrifice like my integrity or like or my happiness to like, I'm not gonna kill myself doing the Shea Parlor. I'm not going to do that, but that's the joy of the balance, like I was talking to somebody and then they were saying like take Elon Musk, for example, like this, he's filthy rich, crazy, but look at the personal relationships that he has. Like they're not probably as stable as, you have or like me have, because we take the time to build those meaningful, like, yeah, he works his fingers to the bone, but like the other aspects in your life like suffer because of that. So you kind of just have to like have that balance to see like how much willing am I to sacrifice to become this person. So it's in that balance is not answered like right away. Like it takes time for me to figure out, let me spend a little less time with this person, which is crazy in itself, and like you lose people along the way, but it's for a bigger purpose. So it's not all in vain.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day too, like whoever's supposed to be there will be there. Like, I have friends that I've known since high school or middle school. We do not talk every day, or even like, we maybe hang out maybe like once every 3 or 4 months, but like the bond is still real. So it's like,
oh yeah,
the people that are supposed to be there will, and the people that get it, and the people that don't. So there's that.
Exactly.
I want to talk about the like fun flavors and smells and scents that you have. I know we mentioned maybe one or two of them, but like take us down the list of the scents that you offer.
For sure. So we have 7 right now. I have unscented, which you can use on your face and use in your hair. A lot of men like to get unscented. Then I have vanilla buttercream crunch, which is the number one scent right now. There's also strawberry swirl, happy birthday cake, chocolate chip cookie dough, lemon pound cake, which is my personal favorite, and cotton candy. And those all come in body butters, exfoliating body scrubs, and moisturizing lip balms. And more to come, but right now that's what I'm working with.
That's incredible. I just wanted to, let's real quick, as much as you can say about the product itself, because I feel like the naming of it is so key when it comes to marketing. I think deciding, yes, you want to know in terms of chemicals and all your ingredients, keeping the dignity of the product and the brand intact, but still there's so many scents and the rollout of that is important. Also, just like the making of the actual body butter and exfoliating scrub. Like, are you in there whipping it up? Like, you talking
Girl,
about
yes.
like doing it. Like, talk about how does that work?
Yeah, I sure am. It's my mixing day, which I try to leave for the weekends. It's a 4-hour process. It's a very rigorous. It's a lot of melting and whipping and freezing. It's a crazy process, but I've broken it down to like streamline it and to like making it consolidated but still effective. And by the way, I am hiring for somebody to make the body butters for me, because to be honest, I really don't like that part. I'm really into the marketing and all the digital stuff. So yeah, I do make it all in my kitchen. I have the products like here with me. I buy a lot of shea butter. A lot of mail comes here. Inventory is all here. So yeah, it's a rigorous process. But I mean a lot of things that are good, they don't come easy. So, just carving out that time doesn't make it so bad. And having a plan, a mixing plan, a time frame, it makes it like feasible.
So did you come out with all 5 scents at once, or was it like, oh, we have 2 and then 3?
Yeah, I did. I started with the only ones that are newish are cotton candy, lemon pound cake. I started with 5, and I was like, this is as far as I can go. Like, I cannot handle anything else. And my business partner at the time was helping me to realize that like you're putting yourself in that box again. You're like saying that you're only as good as 5 cents. Like, why not take yourself further? You've done 1 cent, then you did 2, then now you're doing 5. Why can't you do 7? Why can't you do 20? I'm like, girl, you're right. So then that's why I've been like slowly building onto my products. And like, it is hard because I am by myself, but it's not impossible because I'm now learning to delegate my tasks and to give the parts of the business that I'm not so hot at to somebody who's excelling at it, to give me time to do things that I love. So I'm learning that now. I'm trying to grow my team now to something bigger. So like I can make as many products with as many cents as I want to.
Can I pitch a product? I want to pitch a product. Let me pitch a product. Okay. Because this is the thing. I'm the scent guru. Akila knows my nose is like beyond sensitive. And I actually just started ordering I don't know, should I say this since they're not sponsoring us, but I ordered this it's like this perfume subscription. I won't say which one or what it is, but different perfumes come so that I could try them out. I love perfumes. I just want to see, I'm not loving all of them, but we're trying
trial
it out.
And error. Yeah.
Trial and error. So for me, I like scents that are more on the clean side, something that's like a pear, if it's going to be fruity. I don't really love fruity, but just pear, clean, crisp, have a little bit more of that masculine scent, something like that. So what I'm thinking is that you come up with a sherbet instead of ice cream. It's sherbet, and you could do pear, peach, pineapple, and you can do play around with some fruity scents.
Yes, I've thought about that, and I really, really want to do that. But I mean, I'm kicking myself right now. It is because I'm scared to be honest. I'm scared to venture out to more things, because I'm dang, what if I can't keep I have a good balance of what I have now, but I'm really nervous. But I'm literally I'm giving myself advice. That's why you delegate, so people can handle that extra stuff. But I have thought about that before, and I'm when you think about ice cream, you could take it so far, especially with skincare. I have so many ideas that are in store, and yes, that is definitely on for the plan. So maybe next summer I'll have a little sherbet, a gelato.
Sis, it could be so cute. You could also do a lemonade stand. I'm ready. I'm coming here with the creative ideas. Listen,
I'm calling you tomorrow because you could be my creative director. I love that.
I'm ready. And we'll do a little flyer to help you find somebody to come help you. So you can roll out your sherbets next summer, child.
Yes, that would be dope. I'm all about expanding, man. That would be amazing.
You got to. But I hear you. I don't want to discount what you're saying either, in terms of just you want to be at a place where if you delegate, it's automated. That we even internally figured out. We're so ready to be okay, we got an intern, we got this, we got that, and that's great. But
have
we done the work to say that what we're delegating is something that is just it can really live on its own, because we know how the process works day in and day out. So that's not our reality, or has not been for you. Maybe you're trying to get there, and subconsciously there's a couple more tweaks I want to do before I bring someone else on, have to teach, have to supervise, have to oversee, and they really know that they can take ownership because they actually have an outline of what to do.
No, you're right, because it is scary putting somebody on your team, because in my mind you're giving a piece of the responsibility of a brand to a stranger. But the thing is if you master that task and you master those steps, it's going to be that much easier for me to teach that person. So I'm not calling myself an expert by any means, but I can make this body butter in my sleep, and I feel confident doing that. And because of that, I'm able to you don't really have to trust the person, you have to trust the system that you're giving off. So if I have total confidence in that, I can hire any qualified person. So I'm keeping that in mind right now, and still looking for a person. But when I find them and they have passion about the Shea Parlor too, I can kind of just be I trust you, just don't make it cost me any more money than I have to, but just handle that. So I'm excited to pass off some of these tasks to somebody else.
Okay. And I know this is totally going a little off, not really off topic, but a little for fun. Have you had any crazy horror stories when it comes to a couple things? Is it making the shea butter when you first started doing, did you over whip it? Because I know there's if you whip it too much, it's chunky. If you whip it not enough, it's too, whatever it is. Or was it maybe you sent the wrong thing to someone. Like we have merch now, right? And like we sent the wrong size, the wrong color, the whole wrong item. We were like, how did this happen? Like,
how did it get in the box? Yeah, little things like that.
So absolutely, like I'm not even trying to come across as like some perfect business owner at all, because I make mistakes. I dropped a whole like bucket of shea butter, like liquid, on the floor. I've like, what else did I do? I've sent wrong packages and stuff. I don't even know if I should be doing this, but I've set aside money for like my mess ups. So like, because when I have to send out like a replacement package, that's shipping on my end. So I have like reserves aside for my fund, I guess. So yeah, I've done that. I miscalculate all the time. I'm human. So the thing is not making myself feel bad for it. Like like I said, I'm not a robot, but like, yes, I do mess up a lot.
I love that. Funds. I think every business owner, including us, should have like, because we have the reserves. Yeah. It's like, oh, how much do you need in order to start this business? It's like, okay, but that's if everything goes right.
Oh yeah, that's like if everything's perfect. You gotta set aside like some understanding that like things are gonna go wrong. Like you cannot be successful if you do not fail, like, because that's how you learn. And I'm still like, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm like teaching myself that too. Like that's just like a part of the journey. And I kind of also wanted to go back when I was talking about the manifesting, like, yeah, it sounds all like bubbles and confetti and all that stuff, but like the reality of like building this business, there are some days that are like sometimes unbearable. Like, am I even cut out for this? Like, I have been, like I said, like kind of the average of everything I tried in my life. Like, what business do I have starting like my own brand and stuff? Those thoughts are gonna pass through your head all the time. But for me, the reason why I haven't gone crazy is I just categorize that like as part of the journey. Like I remember on Nipsey Hussle, he was saying like being like the course of like what he was trying to pursue, he's gone through like every emotion. And when he said that, I'm like, I'm sure there are days when he was like, I'm not cut out for this. I don't have energy for this. What if people do this and that? I just put that as the box of, okay, this is the part of the journey where I'm doubting myself. This is the part where I try to blah, blah. But that's just that part of it. Now let me get out of that and move on to the box where I start speaking life into myself and start speaking success. So I like when the stuff come, like I invite the bad thoughts to come. I'm like, okay, this is just part of it. And I put that in a box somewhere and I move on. So I don't like, I'm being reality, like that's just like part of the journey. Like no successful person that you know has like had a perfect day every single day. So I coming into being an entrepreneur, for anybody who's trying to do it, you got to understand that like, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every day. Like, yeah, the grand scheme of things, we're going to be successful, but like those come with like rainy days to appreciate like the sunshine days that you have. So
love it. Yes, that's the note. Okay. But you know, you're talking about different boxes. The Black Creators Club is always outside of all of those boxes. Tell them why.
Yes. The Black Creators Club is outside of all the things. You guys need to like, subscribe, comment, rate us on Apple Podcasts. Go on our website and shop our amazing, wonderful merch that Akila and I are wearing. Okay. You're welcome. That's Sincerely cute. A Black creator. Okay. Yes. It is for you, made for you, by you, with you in mind. Okay. So
like that.
You guys grab that. If you think you're would be a wonderful guest, please email us. Or if you have someone that you think would be a great guest, email us at theblackcreatorsclub@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at the Black Creators Club. And yeah, let's get back into it.
All right, Cash. Now we're going to have a game for you, which we're calling Welcome to the Parlor. All right?
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, you kind of teed up a lot of the different scents and types of products that you have. But what we're going to do, we're going to name something, let's say a potential customer might be struggling with or might want, and then you'll name the perfect product from the Shea Parlor that they should grab in order to fix their issue. Okay. So the first one, say I have I just want a long-standing relief of dry, cracked skin. I have dry, cracked skin. It's dry, it's cracked, all the things. And I just want to breathe. I want relief. I want to feel good. What do
So I think going back is like kind of part of a routine. Like there's no like one magical product that's just gonna just change your life. It kind of comes like a combination of things. And with me, when I try to solve like an issue, I come to like the source of it. And a lot of dry skin is because you have a lot of dead skin cells sitting on top of your like your epidermis of your skin. So first is to get rid of the problem, which is getting rid of those dead skin cells, which is where body scrub comes in. So I first would recommend the exfoliating body scrub because it kind of just like gives your skin a clean slate so you can invite the moisture into it. So I use this 3 times a week. And when I wet my body and then I put the body scrub on, and it just completely gets rid of the dead skin cells. And the good part is there's shea butter in here too. So it's like exfoliating as it's moisturizing. So it's like a 2-in-1 type of situation. And then when you get out the shower and your skin is 80% damp, then you kind of like, your skin is kind of like water, like it needs moisture. So you're going to replenish that moisture with the body butter. So it kind of just like gets back that like bounce back rejuvenation skin. So yes, it takes time. You're going to have to use it consistently, just like with anything. But over time, you'll be able to see that cracked, scaly, like, oh my God, what is going on with my ankles right now, will be alleviated in the routine. So
I love that. Get it at the source. Love that.
Right. Alleviate those dry, cracky ankles, girl.
Man, I've seen a couple in my lifetime. I used to be that, so it's fine.
I bet you be like in the store, be like, here, girl, here's my card. Call me.
Yo, I really be like, yo, just call me real quick. No pressure. But, you know, I don't want to call nobody ashy, but sometimes people be calling themselves ashy. It's fine. It's fine.
Right. Okay, so I want to reduce the appearance of stretch marks and fade some of the dark spots that are on my face or on my body. Mm-hmm. What should I use?
For your face, I would use the unscented body butter. Not that the fragrance is harmful for your skin at all, but when your skin is like very, very delicate, so I would like to go as natural as possible. So the unscented body butter is great for hyperpigmentation, because as the skin cells grow back, they'll start to grow back like even toned, and that's what the body butter does. So I would do that, and especially for stretch marks like mine. I feel like a lot of people have stretch marks, and body butter will not like completely make them go away, will just minimize the appearance of it. And like also when I'm like marketing this stuff, I'm not saying that like what you're dealing with in your body is like shameful at all. Like we should just be happy to be here. And at the first, you know, there's nothing wrong with you, but and able to like, if you want to like maintain like just like a natural glow, things like body butter can help like minimize the appearance of the stretch marks or even prevent new ones from happening.
Love that. Okay, so the next one, you know what? Who doesn't love kissable lips? All right, I'm looking for something that'll hydrate and just give me a little natural glow when I pucker up.
Oh, you mean this, like the strawberry swirl moisturizing lip balm? So these I like love these. Like these actually just came out like a month and a half ago, so they're fairly new, but I'm always keeping one in my purse. I'll pop one in my friend's purse. But what I like about it is you do not need a lot at all. Like you're not going to be twisting this for days. Like just kind of like one swipe is just enough. So this lasts a very, very long time. So it's made with the same exact ingredients that are in the body butter, and which is shea butter, avocado oil, olive oil, really great ingredients for your lips. I think I'm going to start incorporating vitamin E oil, which is like amazing for your lips. So I think I'm going to do that. But if you want to just have like a head to toe type of just moisturizing look, lip balms are definitely the place to go. And it's just good to keep it on you at all times.
We love that. We love a little smackable lip. I want to get rid of hyperpigmentation and dark acne scars. Like, what should I use?
So I would recommend the body butter and the scrub too. So you're kind of just like taking off like the skin cells that would like continue the hyperpigmentation. The body scrub kind of like stops it in their tracks, and the body butter just kind of like is just like a barrier, a moisturizing barrier, so new hyperpigmentation won't like continue. So for acne scars, hyperpigmentation, stretch mark, the list can go on. Like you can even use this body butter to clean your makeup brushes with. I've heard people use it as underneath their perfume to make the perfume stick longer. So it's just I'm learning this like as I go along. Like my friend was like, yeah, like after I smoke, I put it on to like alleviate the smoke, and I was like, I didn't even know that like it can like really go on to like just much more than like keeping your skin healthy. So it's just like a forever giving ingredient.
Awesome. That's what happens when you use natural ingredients, right? You can actually interchange things, but that's incredible. I'm so ready.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to trying the lemon pound cake
yes.
with body butter, because that one I'm like, just the sound of that.
My
First of all, it sounds like it smells amazing. It sounds super, like, obviously the body butter, as you said, super curing of a lot of things. It just sounds great. So I mean, Cash, you're doing your thing, girl. We love to see it. Let our listeners know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah, of course. So I have the Shea Parlor website, www.thesheaparlor.com. And you can definitely find me on Instagram, where I'm starting to get into the whole real thing and show my face on the Shea Parlor, at the Shea Parlor. And I'm on Facebook right now. So if you log into any of those, you'll be able to find me and just like something, share something, love something, buy something if you want to. You know, I'm always around and always giving like just insight. If like I have a lot of people ask me like, how do I start my business, whatever, like I have no problem like just giving you tips or sending you links or showing you resources, just because when I'm put on, I want other people to get put on too. So I don't like hold this knowledge to myself at all. Like I do not mind reaching out to somebody and helping them get to the next level, because I know what it was like when you're scared to start a business. I've been there, and if I can help somebody get to the next level, like I'm for sure gonna help where I can.
And it'll come back tenfold. And if it's not even for getting something back, but it does, you know, that good karma has a way of so that's
for sure.
Well, this is an amazing episode. You can find me chatting media, life motivation, all with a dash of style at Aquila Friend. Ev, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram chatting everything Black-owned business, and of course the Black Creators Club at Ebony Chapman 12.
Yes, and keep up with the Black Creators Club at the Black Creators Club on all platforms. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, girl. And remember to, for all those listening and watching, abide by your ABCs.
Always be creating.
Bye, guys. Love that. Bye, guys.
Yay.